Minute answer questions are quick quizzes of conceptual content. If you're looking for a certain question here, watch the bottom left-hand side of the screen for the number. Let's take it from the top. If a reorder point is increased, what happens to its service level? If a reorder point goes up, its service level goes up. So if a reorder point increases, its service level increases. The higher the reorder point, the higher the service level. The lower the reorder point, the lower the service level. Okay, next question. If a reorder point is increased, same thing again. What happens to its safety stock? Also same thing again. Increases. The reorder point is understood to be the average demand plus safety stock. So if you increase a reorder point, you're not changing average demand, so that means you must be increasing the safety stock. The higher the reorder point, the more the safety stock. The lower the reorder point, the less the safety stock. Okay, what's next? If a reorder point is decreased, what happens to its stock out risk? If a reorder point goes down, that means its stock out risk increases. The higher the reorder point, the less the stock out risk. The lower the reorder point, the more the stock out risk. Let's see, next question. If the fixed order quantity policy, in a fixed order quantity policy, if the policy's order size is decreased, Q is decreased, what happens to the average inventory level, which is Q divided by 2? So if Q goes down, this whole thing would decrease. That's our answer. Decreases. Okay, next question. In a fixed order quantity policy, if a policy's order size, again, Q, is decreased, same thing, what happens to the frequency of ordering? The frequency of ordering is D divided by Q, so if this number gets smaller, then this entire result would increase. So, the smaller the order, the more frequently you will have to order. The larger the order, the less frequently you'll have to order. Okay. In a fixed order quantity policy, if a policy's order size is increased, so we're still talking about Q now, but if it goes up, what happens to the reorder? Wait a minute, what happens to the reorder point? If you change the order size, you increase it, what happens to the reorder point, which reflects demand during lead time? Nothing. Those two things aren't connected. As strange as that might sound. Okay. Assuming perfectly constant demand, if lead time is increased from 5 to 10 days, what happens to the reorder point? It would double. How do I know that? Because the reorder point is demand during lead time. It's this total demand during lead time. It said increase from 5 to 10 days, so it doubled the length of lead time. We're assuming that demand is constant. That means the total amount that will be needed or demanded over that time will double. So the reorder point must double. Okay, next question. In an ABC classification scheme, which group of items is least tightly controlled? That would be C. The ABC classification scheme is communicating prioritization by alphabetization. Right, A items are the most tightly controlled, they're considered the most important, and C then are the least important and the least tightly controlled. Okay, what else? The two basic issues of inventory are how much to order and what else, when. All of inventory management ultimately boils down to those two questions. Answers to those two questions. How much should I order and when? When should I order it? Okay, what's the next question? A company that uses the EOQ formula to determine batch sizes realizes it has made a mistake and must recalculate those batch sizes using the EPQ formula. What will happen to those batch sizes? They will increase. How do I know that? This is the EOQ formula. 2 times D times S divided by H. You put the numbers in here and that is your order size. What they're saying is they were using this. They were using this and realized they'd made a mistake. They needed to use the EPQ formula, which is this. with this extra, the square root of p over p minus d. Take a look at the extra part in the EPQ formula. Underneath the square root, p divided by p minus d. Okay, p minus something is always going to be smaller, which means that that result in there is always going to be at least somewhat larger than 1. Which means that it will always increase this is the original EOQ. So we know that if you switch from the EOQ to the EPQ, your order sizes are going to increase. Okay, what's the next question? What is SKU short for? Oh, very common lingo, stock keeping unit. SKU. An SKU is a unique item. That's a very, very common abbreviation. So common that sometimes you'll go places and they'll actually pronounce it like as a word. They'll talk about particular SKUs. They mean SKU. Ooh, last question. Is a transaction fee most likely an example of a fixed or a variable cost? A transaction fee? Generally, transaction fees are examples of fixed costs because it generally doesn't matter, not always, but generally doesn't matter how much or how little is going on in the transaction. If it's a transaction fee, kind of like with a bank machine, it's just a flat charge that makes it a fixed cost.